Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Karey Carbaugh podcast. Buenas noches, damas y caballeros, chicos y chicas, niños de todas edades, y bienvenidos a el Karey Carbaugh podcast. Welcome. My name is Karey Carbaugh, and this is the Karey Carbaugh podcast, episode number 81. 82. Episode number 82. And I've titled this, We Are in a Relationship Business. You'll see what I mean by that here in a few minutes. Before we get started, once again, my name is Karey Carbaugh, and this is the Karey Carbaugh podcast, where we aim to help people with their self-esteem and feelings of self-worth. And I think tonight's podcast will do just exactly that once you see what I mean here. Whether you're joining me live or on the replay, for the first time or returning, welcome. If you would, please smash that like button, like if you do, and leave me a comment down below letting me know where you're tuning in from and if you're catching this live or on the replay by dropping the word live or replay in the comments. It always helps me to know where these podcasts are reaching, where you're tuning in from, and how far these are reaching. It's always interesting for me to look at that and helps me to know where we're getting at. So if you would, before we get started, thank you very much. And again, welcome to those that have been following me for the last 81 episodes. Thank you so much. It's only because of your support and continued engagement that keeps me doing these. And for those who are new, welcome in. I always enjoy seeing new people finding these. So without further ado, let's dive into tonight's topic. And as I've explained before, a couple of things here. I am a Christian. I don't force that belief on anyone else, but I also don't hide it. And in many of these topics, this comes out. Tonight's, I think, will be one such topic that will be hard to avoid my perspective and where I'm coming from. If you're not a believer, I hope you'll take from this what you will and what's valuable for you. But that is my belief, and that is the perspective that I come from. Also, I am visually impaired. I don't plan on reading anything from the Bible tonight, but sometimes I do, and when I do so, I have to hold my phone up very close, and sometimes I even use voiceover to read aloud, because it's a little bit quicker than what I can read. But without further ado, we are in a relationship business. What does this mean? Well, a couple things come to mind, and these are comments that have come out of recent church sermons. Shout out to both Pastor Jason and Pastor Nick, who gave me a couple of ideas that feed into this topic. Let's start by talking about what our purpose is, and we've talked about this a little bit before on these podcasts, that our main purpose is serving God and helping with His purpose. God wants to use each one of us to do His work. What do I mean by that? Well, God could reach people for His purposes any way He chooses. But He's chosen you and He's chosen me to do His work, to spread His word and to introduce other people to Him. Now, if that doesn't help bolster your self-esteem and your feelings of self-worth, I'm not sure what will. Because of all the people and all of the ways that God could do His work, He's chosen each one of us to share His word and introduce other people to His good news. And if you're not a believer, God has chosen you to spread love and to spread kindness among other people, even if you're not a believer. I think everyone would agree that the best way to coexist in this world is to love one another and care about one another, especially in these times of trial and difficulty. Many of us are experiencing difficulties now, whether personally, whether financially, or perhaps just simply the ways of the world, with all the war going on and all the other uncertainties around the world. What better way to coexist than to show kindness and love toward one another? This, my friends, is God's purpose for each one of us. This is His work, and He's chosen us to do the work. As I thought about this topic tonight, I thought about, why would God choose us? Why not just come down and make people know who He is? He certainly could. There's many other ways that He could have chosen to do His work. But I believe that He's chosen each one of you and me because He is in a relationship business. His business is all about relationship. And the best way to demonstrate that, not the only way, but the best way to demonstrate that, is through relationships with one another. The best way to lead people to a relationship with Him is to lead people through a relationship with one another, and to help people understand Him, the Creator, God, or whatever you believe in, by a relationship or through a relationship with other individuals and other believers. The other piece of this, and I hope you're getting value from this. If you are, drop that word value or a V in the comments. The other piece of this, which came out of a comment from Pastor Nick, which I'd never really thought of before, and that is, for many of us, we're just kind of going through the motions of this life thinking, okay, I've got everything together, myself included. We go through life thinking we're in a good relationship with God, and so we can just kind of coast through life and wait for the best. I've often heard it said the best is yet to come. So it's easy for us to simply sit back and wait for God's kingdom. Wait to go to heaven. However, there are things that we can do now which we will not be able to do in heaven. This is the comment that Pastor Nick made, which I'd never really thought about. And it really resonated with me, and I hope it will resonate with you as well. What do I mean by that? As he explained, once we get to heaven, we can no longer really do His work, God's work. Because when we're in heaven, everyone around us will already be believers. 100% of the people in heaven will believe in God. So we will no longer have that opportunity to share His good news with other people. That work can only be done now, while we're on earth, and while we are participating in a relationship business with God Himself. Once this life is over, and we, hopefully, all who are listening to me at this time, will be in a relationship with Him and will be in heaven, worshiping Him forever. But at that point, we can no longer share his good news with people around us because they'll already know it. I'd never really thought about that before, but that calls a sense of urgency to doing his work now while we're on earth. And that also puts self-esteem and self-worth in perspective. If we are about doing the work and the will of the creator of the universe, what more can give us self-worth? I can't think of anything. If you can, let me know in the comments. If there's things that you think can make you feel more valuable than doing the work of the creator, I'd love to know it. Please let me know in the comments below. If you can relate to any of this, let me know by dropping the word relate in the comments below. And as we bring this in for a landing, this is a little bit shorter than some of the podcasts that I've done. I do hope you've gotten value and can relate to some of what I've shared here. I was a little bit late getting on. I was going to say this at the beginning, but it's always, I think, helpful for you to know that I am out here with you all doing life, doing what needs to be done. And oftentimes that means adjusting with circumstances. I was all ready to go live tonight and was going to be on time. And as I hit that button to go live, my laptop died. I discovered it wasn't, well, it was plugged in, but the plug wasn't turned on, the power strip that I had it plugged into. And so the battery died. And so I had to adjust and reboot. But hopefully you'll catch this, if not live, maybe on the replay. And again, let me know if you're catching this live or on the replay by dropping that word live or replay in the comments. But have you ever had life do life on you and change your plans? Me too. That's sort of what happened to me as I was getting ready to go live tonight. And I share that not for any kind of pity or any kind of feeling sorry, but simply to let you know that I am out here just like you all doing life. And sometimes life happens and we have to adjust. Yes, sometimes it's frustrating, but we can persist and pursue and get through whatever is thrown our way. So with that, I believe that's all of the, hopefully, words of wisdom, but if not, words of babbling on here that I have to share with you tonight. So again, I hope you've gotten value from this, and I hope you can relate to some of what I've shared here tonight. Before we close out here, if you would be interested in being added to my email list, if you could drop the word email in the comments below, I will reach out to you and get your email address privately, or you can just simply send it to me in a direct message on Facebook or Instagram. I check Facebook more often, but I do try to watch the Instagram messages because I share these over to Instagram. So let me know by dropping the word email, and I'm starting to put together an email list where I can let people know about these podcasts ahead of time, and also start to develop some more private events that can go into some of these topics a little deeper than what we have time for on a brief podcast. So with that, thank you very much again for joining me and for supporting these podcasts. Once again, smash that like button. Like if you do, if you've enjoyed this podcast and like this podcast, hit that like button so that it can be shared with others. It helps the algorithms. Thank you very much. This is Karey Carbaugh. My name is Karey Carbaugh, and this has been the Karey Carbaugh Podcast. Until we meet again for episode number 83, make it a blessed day. Be a blessing to those around you, and do something positive for those that you come in contact with. Have a blessed evening. Thanks a lot. Goodbye for now.